Law had the strength, of course, of character. Whilst he didn't look the strongest of boys, he was very strong. He was strong-willed, he fought with the heart. And the head, of course. Now, Law was easy to teach these things. Now, he didn't argue with the referee, or the linesman, but he conversed with them in a different manner. In other words, he funneled them. And if a decision was given against him, he would cotton on to a linesman, he would talk to him going back, nice, you know, and have a little conversation with him. And maybe the next decision went his way. He didn't dissent with them, no. And he did that with referees. Now, he was a very good actor. So he, instead of going over and rushing at them and telling them what to do, he said, oh yes, you're right, yes, you're right. I did that. From my own personal experience, from advice from my brother Alec, and my own advice, I knew early on that I couldn't argue with referees, so I used to side up with the referees when the decisions went against us. I mean, if a goal was disallowed, and I said, you're right, referee, it was a good decision. And the goal was disallowed against us, and some people were going frantic and going mad. But not me, no. And I'm not the most patient of people, I'll tell you now. I'm what you call an impatient patient man. So I used to say to the referee, okay, ref, you're right, it's a good decision. Now, as years went past, the referee got to know me, and I got away with a little bit of something else, you know, that maybe was beneficial to me. So I didn't argue with referees. So Law it was a natural thing for Law too, but I think I helped him along these lines. So instead of arguing with the referee, Law, you know, spoke to him nicely, and was a nice little boy. And they must have said he's a nice lad, you know. And this was all psychology. This is brains. So it's teaching people the right things, teaching people not to do the wrong things, more than teaching them to do the right things. So eliminate the wrong things, and then you'll get somewhere.
What I'd like to know, a question, the players that you didn't buy, in other words, you considered buying them for Liverpool, but subsequently rejected them. You decided not to follow through, not to actually buy them. I know that Frank Worthington was considered.
Frank Worthington, yeah, if you want to talk about that, yeah. Frank Worthington was turned down medically. The specialist here who examined our players said turn them down. We couldn't sign them on. Nothing to do with me. I wanted to buy Frank Worthington. He should be grateful. I wanted to pay £150,000 for him. But medically the man said we can't sign him. So that was as far as it went. It was out of our hands.
What about Toshak? Didn't Toshak carry an injury for a long time?
Toshak, yeah, John carried an injury. I had John, of course, I signed John, yeah. And then there was another boy from Bolton.
Freddie Hill.
Freddie Hill, yeah. Oh, Freddie Hill was a great player. Freddie Hill was turned down with the medical people and all. And I thought Freddie Hill was the best player in England then. Because I remember seeing West Ham playing one night, and Bolton in a cup tie. We were due to play West Ham the following week. We played at Burnley in the afternoon, and I went over to Bolton to see West Ham playing at night time. And Freddie Hill tore West Ham to pieces. And I said, he's for me, I'll have him. And then, of course, we got him over, and again the specialist said, no. I said, you can't sign him. And Freddie, for me, for 45,000, Freddie Hill was going to be the steal of the century. Brilliant player. Shattered the life out of West Ham. Sheer cleverness and deception. Good player, yeah. Oh, I was sorry about that. Very sorry. Both of them were clever players, Frank Worthington and Freddie Hill. Ability-wise, nobody could turn them down. They had all the stuff. Frank was a good player too.
That's the thing I was looking for, which is the difference between, obviously you've made some great buys. I mean, people like Callahan, for example, phenomenal servant for the club. But those ones that, in a sense, made it a very powerful, very strong team into a great team.
That's correct. That's correct. Hughes came in and took Milne's place, you see, right away. And the beginning of the following season, he would settled and we went to play at Cologne, and he played against Cologne, and Overath was playing, the great Overath. And Emlyn came in, and right away, Roger Hunt said at half-time, I said, oh, gosh, he says, well, that's it. Hughes was the man, and he proved it, of course. Yeah. And he never gave Overath a kick. And Overath was one of the best German players, one of the best players in Europe. But we had a system again, of course, for special days, adjustment.
What was the special day system?
Well, Overath was a special player, so he had to get special attention. So Hughes marked him closely. But when we had the ball, Hughes came in and played. But when we lost it, he picked up Overath. And when the Ross, as I told you, got jobs for us too. Another special adjustment. We played the Bayern Munich in the UEFA Cup. And we beat them 3-0 here, and we went to Munich. And I put Ross at a centre-half and against Beckenbauer at centre-forward. And he stood up the front against Beckenbauer and kept Beckenbauer out the game. It was a destructive centre-half. And then, no, at the end of the day, he got a goal and all, Ross, and nearly got a hat-trick. But he stopped Beckenbauer from playing. Because the German manager had said, Beckenbauer not play too good, huh? I said, no, I didn't. And then I gave him a job against Alan Ball once, shadowing Ball at Goodison. You don't always like to do that, but we didn't make it too negative. When we had the ball, we wanted them to play, but when they lost it, they picked up the marker. So we only did it twice, really, against Ball and Beckenbauer, who were two of the greatest players in the world.
Would you like to sign Alan Ball?
Oh, yes, Ball's my type of player. Yes, sir. Ball was a special player, yeah.
What about Bremner?
Bremner, Ball, that's right. You're in the frame now.
Mackay?
Bremner and Ball and Mackay and yeah, they're the ones. They're special. And Norman Hunter. Yeah, Norman Hunter was a great player, fantastic player. Good play, skill as well. Tough and skill. Yeah, they're the type of player I'm looking for.
What about those players who very highly skilled players, who promise so much, and yet don't quite see it through? I'm thinking of players like Hudson, Osgood, Bowles, Charlie George.
There's a number of these other ones, they promised a lot and didn't do enough. They just didn't have the appetite. Maybe they was too consistent playing every week, you know. Maybe they played once a month, they might have done better. Maybe they didn't have the appetite for the game, a lot of the players. I've seen a lot of players with tremendous skill, and it annoyed me to see them not giving enough, you know. The ones you mentioned, of course, Ball, and before that, there'd one at Everton called Collins. He went to Leeds United later. Came from Celtic to Everton. What a player. Oh, what a player he was.
What about Baxter?
I remember him and Pat Crerand once playing at Hampden for Scotland. And England were favourites to win, and it was a bone-hard end of the season, dry Hampden. But Baxter and Crerand conducted the orchestra brilliantly. Oh dear, they played it on a hard ground as if it was soft. They pulled it down and utilised it, and Law was playing, and they beat England 2-0. The first time I seen a lap of honour being done by a Scottish team. You know, Law was brilliant, of course. But that was the skill, and that's what riles me and frustrates me and annoys me to see all the years of Scotland had so many players and haven't done anything. And you could see a display like that. I mean, men like Archie Gemmill and them couldn't be in a successful Scottish team. It's criminal, really.
Bill, let me ask you about schoolboy internationals. Why do so many promise so much and then not come through, not make the grade? What happens to them?
Well, that's a problem question that I think I can answer it. The clubs I've been at, we didn't get all the Scottish schoolboy internationals, but Huddersfield Town got a fair share of them. Like Dennis Law, for instance, who was in the Scottish schoolboy squad. I'm not too sure if he played or not. But that's a burning question that I know clubs that have had through their books over the past 20 years, dozens of schoolboy internationals. They might even have up into 100, some of them. And none of them, or very few, have made the grade. Now there's something wrong somewhere.